I feel bad for anybody that has to do a strip search of Trump if he is actually treated like a local inmate. I do want to see him wearing orange and seeing his mugshot, because that would be awesome to see how upset he is getting his mugshot taken.
Prosecutors have agreed on a $200,000 cash bond just ahead of his expected surrender at the Fulton County Jail on Thursday. We're now told it will be Thursday. Brian Todd is taking a closer look into this jail for us. What can you tell us about the former president and his co-defendants when they actually show up there?
What they can expect, Wolf, according to the Fulton County Sheriff, is to be treated like any other defendant at that jail. But we do have new information tonight.
Does that also mean that like the security guards or whatever, the prison guards will like, beat down Trump if Trump gets snarky and stuff like they do other people?
On how the process could be streamlined for Donald Trump and the other defendants. Donald Trump, Rudy Giuliani, and 17 other defendants this week are expected to be formally booked at the Fulton County Jail, also known as Rice Street, a hulking, crumbling structure that's garnered a notorious reputation. The sheriff of Fulton County insisting that, despite their high profiles, Trump and the others will be treated like every other defendant booked at this jail.
If you're indicted, then we're going to treat you as though you were indicted here locally. And so we will continue to do fingerprints, mugshots, etc.
What might it look like inside when Trump and the others formally surrender? Retired Fulton County Sheriff's Lieutenant Charles Rambo says normally people who are surrendering come through the facility's front door first. But regardless of which entrances Trump and the others arrive in,
they would be pat down, led to the booking office in the rear. From there, they probably will have to have ties and shoestrings and all those type of things taken. Then from
Somebody better record this happening, because they would get massive views if they posted a video of Trump being patted down and strip searched and stuff. It would be awesome to see.
there, the persons would be fingerprinted, given a booking photo.
Donald Trump and the other defendants are expected to be photographed for mugshots, but it's unclear when those pictures will be made public. People familiar with the process tell CNN normally those booked at this jail are searched thoroughly by a jail deputy and at some point given a medical examination and a pre-trial screening to determine if they can sign out on their own recognizance.
Dude, I bet Trump is going to hate having his weight taken.
But it's not clear if Trump or the other high-profile defendants in this case will go through those steps. For a normal defendant, it would take hours to go through those procedures. But with these defendants,
I don't expect Trump to spend hours in this jail, because the longer he is, I mean, it's a pain, but it's going to be a hassle.
Yeah, it's a pain for anybody to have to spend that time getting booked, but nobody's treated special because they consider it it's a pain to take this much time getting booked. If he's going to be treated like a local inmate, who cares about how long it takes?
Hassle for the entire sheriff's department, or at least those that are at the jail when the president is there. It's going to be a circus.
if they didn't have bond agreements, Donald Trump and the other defendants might have been held in custody at this jail, which observers say could be a nightmarish experience.
Yeah, in all honesty, Trump and his cohorts shouldn't have gotten any kind of bond. They committed treason and should be treated like any other traitor that is caught by the United States. Who cares if he had a bad time in jail? He's a traitor, and nobody should care about them.
The Rice Street Jail is not a pleasant place. It's dirty. It's scary.
Last month, the Justice Department launched a civil rights investigation into the Fulton County Jail following multiple deaths inside the facility. Last year, inmate LaShawn Thompson was found dead in his cell. His family says unsanitary conditions, including insect and lice infestation, contributed to his death.
Yeah, we do need a reform of the prisons, and we need to ban for-profit private prisons and make sure that people that are in prison are treated like humans instead of like animals, it shouldn't be legal for prisons to be dilapidated as this one is.
Sheriff agreed it was deplorable conditions like a third world country.
Three
But you gotta remember the reason for prisons, especially for profit prisons, is to re-enslave people, especially black people and other POCs, but mostly black people, to be used as prison labor. That's why prisoners can be leased and rented out, and why various corporations use prison labor.
officials at the Fulton County Jail stepped down earlier this year after a preliminary investigation into LaShawn Thompson's death. Sheriff Patrick Labatt acknowledges the poor conditions there. He says he welcomes the Justice Department investigation, and he has sought more than $2 billion in county funding to build a new jail.
Wow. So this dude is like, yeah, we get a bunch of money already, and our jail is pretty shitty, but give us more money so we can build another bad jail. That's, no, that's just disgusting. Anybody else who, I mean, if this was a regular person, defrauding the government, they wouldn't get a bunch more money. They would go to jail.
Wolf.
Horrendous situation over there. Thanks very much, Brian Todd, reporting. I want to bring in CNN legal analyst Norm Eisen for more on the breaking news we're following. The breaking news that the former President Donald
Honestly, uh, they shouldn't be getting more money to build a new jail. The police department should be getting their budget cut and then be required to use the money that they get to still improve the jail. If they really cared about their jobs, they would find improvements. You don't need more money to improve a jail. You just need to stop being corrupt.
Trump will turn himself in to authorities down in Georgia on Thursday. What's your reaction, Norm?
Well, Wolf, despite the fact that we've seen this before, there's no denying the historic nature of it. Even to have one surrender, one time by a president, now the fourth time, these are some of the most serious charges he faces with some of the most serious penalties. But we also have to be cognizant, Wolf, of the ways in which the former president is utilizing the spectacle of these surrenders and the related appearances, the arraignments, to drive his support and his popularity in the Republican presidential primary. So we're seeing that, and we can expect that as well on Thursday.
If he were just a regular citizen and he was facing these criminal charges, he'd not only be finger pointed but have a mugshot, but presumably they could deny him even bail, right?
They could. I think most regular citizens who had no history of conviction, he has multiple criminal charges, but he has not been convicted, would be eligible either for bail or for a bond of the kind that he's posting here. We know that also from the treatment of his co-defendants, but we do expect that some of the usual strictures in this jail, which is not a very nice place to be. Some of the usual strictures will be relaxed to move him in and out quickly. We've seen that in the prior arrests, the prior surrenders, and we'll see that here too. And of course, the Secret Service is negotiating that. That is a security concern. So for that reason alone, because he'll have a strong accompaniment, strong security, he'll have a very different experience than the normal defendant.